Hot.
Your ride, mister.
Keep driving.
Don't pick that guy up. Well, howdy, partners. Howdy, partners. Cheers and welcome to From Behind the Barcast, podcast for bartending, service industry, drinking in general, and Tourettes syndrome. More on that later. This week and every week, we're brought to you by Inferno Hot Sauce Emporium, right across the street from Huckapoo's. They got all the Hot Ones hot sauces, some custom jobs. Also, you know who does our art? David Smiley on Instagram. Wonderful artist. He does commissions. Check him out. Tourette's syndrome. Now I'm speaking.
Fuck!
I'm sort of speaking in jest, but it occurred. Drunken Tourette's happened to us and me a little more in the past week than normal. So last week after the podcast, you and I take a little sojourn to the quarter to go hang out with some friends. You know, we're jazzed after the podcast. You know? We're like, let's go grab a couple Rolling Rocks for Kelly.
Damn right.
Oh, I'm Paxton Eugene. That's Rolling Rock Kelly over there.
Kelly on the ones and
twos. And I witnessed this a lot, and it manifests itself in a couple different ways. Drunk Tourette's, I mean. So we're hanging out, and we got a buddy, and, you know, whatever the conversation topic may be, you know, if someone doesn't have anything to contribute necessarily, they'll just say a repeated phrase.
Right.
So we're sitting there chatting, and I was like, yeah, you know, the yard signs, you know, things are funny. And then my man would pop and go, fuck Don Henley. And then, you know, we're talking about sports. He's like, you're right, fuck Don Henley.
Couldn't let it go.
I was like, I'm waiting on him to say anything else. And he go, yeah, fuck Don Henley. So then at work, you know, a couple nights later, just this dude, he could not stop saying Roll Tide for no absolute reason. There wasn't a Roll Tide game on. The next night, a guy literally only said, let's go Brandon the entire night.
Let's go Brandon?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was always in the same situation. People are talking about stuff, whatever their conversation is.
Yeah.
Person B has nothing to contribute, but they got to throw their hat in the ring. They got to throw their mouth in the ring a little bit,
right? And
say something. Yeah, Roll Tide. You know, I think fuck Don Henley. That's right. So Don Henley, am I right? Fuck him. Tonight, I don't know why I haven't thought of this, but I've been drinking some of them twisted teas here lately. Yeah. So I get the 90-ounce tall boys that they have, because they don't make regular tall boys of twisted tea. It's either a gallon
or the big driveway can.
the giant driveway can.
Yeah.
And so I got the half and half, which is the half lemonade, what you would call an Arnold Palmer.
Right.
But when I put the vodka in it, it's the John Daly now.
Okay.
So, you know, drinking it in my master's cup.
Right on.
With my master's koozie. Thank you, Golf Course Kelly.
Wow.
For taking me to Augusta. And it reminded me, you went out of town and to Augusta. And I cat sit for you a little bit.
Yeah. Baby girl.
You got a little dumpster kitty. Very low maintenance.
Yeah. By design. She
likes to be outside. We've got a rhythm we go through. I get over there. I get inside. She has to have an appetizer before she has dinner.
Absolutely.
So I shake the treats, give her the treats. She'll let them sit there for a second. Be like, I'll eat these when I feel
a little aloof.
Yeah. So then she'll eat those, and then she'll make sure that I'm settled on the couch and not going to rush out the door so that she's locked in.
Yeah.
And then she proceeds to eat her dinner. Well, the last couple times, normally I'd go over there for like 30 minutes or an hour or something like that. Never even turn the TV on, you know, just sit there and look at my phone. Just make sure she had some inside time.
Right.
You know, water, food, couple pets if she wanted them.
Yeah.
Typically doesn't.
No.
Not really into it unless you're walking around. She definitely wants to trip you and murder you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or cause bodily harm.
Uh-huh.
But then sometimes like the most she'll do is get up on the edge of the couch.
Yeah.
Just out of reach, but just in sight.
Yeah, I've got that little pallet set up there for her to lay on, that kind of thing.
That's her thing.
She's not a lap cat.
No.
At all.
Which is fine. I'm not a lap cat guy.
Yeah.
But so during those times, I've cut my subscription stuff down to only Hulu and YouTube Premium.
Okay.
But you over there, Kelly, you've got the premium HBO Max and Netflix.
Well, I'm bumming the Max
You have
off
them.
Marty. But yeah, I have. Yeah.
Regardless of whose credit cards,
Right.
you got them.
Yeah.
And so the first thing I did was like, I've been wanting to see this Penguin show on HBO Max. It's the Batman, whatever, the Colin Farrell.
Yeah, the spinoff.
And I've never simped so hard for an actress in a long time like this. Kristen Milioti, she plays the Hangman.
Oh,
She's basically the new boss of the Falcone family or whatever.
Okay.
No spoilers, but we're at like episode 7 now. And so I binged the first 4 episodes. I had one that had already came out and I saved it for like another day.
Okay.
And then, so I've been titrating that too. And I like that they only come out once a week now.
Right. So you can't watch it all on one Saturday.
It was fine watching 3 episodes, 4 episodes all in one go.
Yeah.
But then saving them, it's a nice.
I'll get to it. I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah.
I like the character. I like the movie version of him with Robert Pattinson playing the new version of Batman or whatever, the old version, whatever, that kind of thing. And I thought Colin Farrell stole the show, really, as far as
In the Batman?
the movie version of it before the series came out and all that. So I'm curious to see how the spinoff is, that journey. And I'll get to it at some point. But
Yeah.
I'm not ready yet.
I think it speaks to me because it's very like mob related, essentially. The crime
absolutely.
families.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Krabs plays the other mob boss.
Mr. Krabs?
Yeah, Clancy something. Yeah, well he does the voice for Mr. Crab.
Oh, dude, he was in Highlander. He was.
Was he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a wonderful character actor.
Yeah. Oh, so he's great.
Yeah.
But this true Italian Kristen Milioti. Woo! And I knew I'd recognized her because she was in an episode or 2 of 30 Rock.
Oh, wow.
Where she comes in as a writer for the show in 30 Rock. But she's like, "Oh my God, whose dude's lap am I gonna sit on?" She had like blonde hair. She had pushed her boobs up.
Oh, that was her?
That was her.
No, wow, okay.
Yeah. So then at the end, Liz Lemon was like, "You don't have to be baby voice," and she like put her on the internet, and it turns out she was running from an abusive husband.
Okay.
And Liz Lemon outed her. She goes, "Now I have to move again. I have to change. I got to be a redhead now. I hate redheads."
I love 30 Rock just because, and the Alec Baldwin character, just all of it's wonderfully written, and
it's snappy.
yeah, I mean it's so well done, and I've only seen like just a few episodes at a time, depending on which service I had available at the time.
Yeah.
Most of it's been through YouTube and just catching greatest hits clips, that kind of thing.
There's a lot of that.
But I love that show. But I had no idea that girl.
That was her.
Damn.
Isn't that crazy?
Damn.
Yeah.
Range.
Yeah. Well, the thing about 30 Rock was it wasn't linear. You didn't need to see the last episode to get that episode.
You're right about that.
So the HBO Max runs dry. The Penguin episode. I did actually leave one on the table.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
So then I switched over to the old Netflix, which even when I did have Netflix, I'd probably watch it once every 2 weeks because I'd forget I had it because my TV just stays on YouTube Premium.
Right.
I'd forget I had it, and then when I'd pop it back open, Netflix with their rolling out of content is insane.
There's a crap ton.
And it shows up every week. So me opening your Netflix, it was like, where do I start?
Yeah.
So I blew through the Menendez brothers thing.
Oh. Yeah.
And,
I'm trying to get to that too.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right.
No, it's good. It's very American Psycho because they show you a lot of contradicting stories.
Yeah.
They'll show what the brothers say they did, what the police say they did. They'll show it all. So it's kind of like American Psycho where like you don't know what's real or not.
Right.
You don't know whose brain it's coming from. But the only takeaway that I have from it that I would consider or that I would recommend anyone watching it is the 6th episode. It's one of the brothers talking to his lawyer. And the shot is looking at the lawyer's back, sitting across the table from the brother. And it's one shot, and it's a 45-minute monologue. But what I noticed after like 10 or 12 minutes, I was like, they haven't cut the camera. By the end of the episode, the camera is literally, his face is filling up the frame. And it started on the wall behind them.
So slowly.
A centimeter a second or minute.
Yeah.
Push in.
Right.
And once I started realizing that was happening, it kind of took me out of the monologue a little bit. The dude cried like 3 times during it. So it's really well acted. And that just the oneer, just the film aspect of what it took to get that.
Yeah.
The slowest push in ever, a monologue back and forth between, but most, it was a dialogue, but mostly a monologue from, one of the characters playing the brothers.
Right.
And he's got a huge dick.
Wait, what?
There's a prison shower scene.
Okay.
So, I mean. That
was your takeaway.
So, ladies.
No, I want to get to it, but like you said, with the endless amount of crap that's on Netflix,
oh yeah,
it's just about every time I want to go there to watch something specifically, something new pops up.
Right there at the header, like,
try me. Well, like the Vince McMahon thing, I had no intention of watching it. I was going to get to it.
Yeah.
But then I just ran through all 5 episodes.
Buddy.
I just had to take a look-see.
What was your relationship with wrestling back in the day when you were a youngster?
I mean, when I was a kid, I was all about it.
Yeah.
And this was still when it was regional, the southeast, whatever, all the little corridors that they were all in before it became under one umbrella, which is what McMahon did, that kind of thing. So when I was a kid, I was all about it. I thought it was real as shit. And maybe around 11 or 12, I realized it wasn't, or came to understand that it wasn't.
Well,
and it was a little disheartening,
When
and I thought it was silly and stupid, but then I realized a soap opera, if you can kind of separate it all.
Yeah. Well, I realized when you're a kid, you're like, yeah, they're beating each other up. This is acrobatic. Now, saying it's not real is sort of a mislabeling because they're getting hurt out. Like the movement, the athleticism is real.
Yeah.
But it's predetermined as what they like to say, right? Which is fine.
Yeah.
So learning that as a kid, I was disappointed for a little bit. But then I think most people go through that if they would watch wrestling. If you're a kid in the fucking South, you probably did.
Yeah.
Then you're supposed to, then typically the young mind would be like, oh, well, now I'll just watch it for the appreciation of the story and the athleticism. It's like, no, it's fucking stupid.
A little bit, definitely. I mean, I guess if you get into the characters, I guess it's like watching General Hospital. Or along those lines,
an endless doldrum of shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's like someone's got to be the heel. There's got to be a good guy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and all that. But like them dropping 20 feet off something is still real, even if it's a learned way to hit the mat a certain way and all that sort of stuff. But these guys get hurt.
12 back surgeries is real.
Yeah. I mean, it's a real thing in that aspect. But the predetermined part of it kind of definitely cheapened it. But if you're able to separate the two, then it becomes more entertaining.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, one guy, a good guy turned bad. Oh wow, what a story to be told.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I do love watching the behind the scenes documentaries about how much they drank.
Yeah.
And how they would bite guys' noses off in bars.
The drug abuse, just all that kind of stuff that went into it.
They were working 7 nights a week and partying 7 nights a week. Yeah. Them talking about Andre the Giant drinking 2 cases of beer between the Florida-Georgia line, Jacksonville to, Savannah, basically. Yeah. More beer. Yeah. And the amazing part was he didn't have to pee the whole time.
He's a big dude.
But watching the Vince McMahon thing, and right as they were filming it, apparently they had found out that he was shitting on that girl's head in the shower. And
Yeah.
But watching, I was like, one guy said it best. He goes, he'll show you the parts of his personality that you want to see.
Yeah.
Which is pure psychopathy, sociopathy. But to be literally that well in a business, or, to be that, to have that business acumen to run something like that, you kind of have to be a psychopath.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like we've mentioned it a few times, that like college football coaches are psychopaths and all that. And again, it doesn't align itself with killing people. It's just this
it's not psycho killer.
Yeah, it's just this mentality that you have about, no holds barred.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody else for the sake of business or the dollar or whatever the case may be.
Whatever the goal is, I'm getting there.
Yeah, no matter what. No matter whatever I have to step on.
Biting noses, shitting on women's heads, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm getting there,
But yeah, I got sidetracked and ended up watching that instead of something else I wanted to watch. But it's almost too much anymore.
It's what's it? Paralyzation by choice or whatever.
Yeah,
there's too much.
I think there's a new term in the Webster's Dictionary about like that thing where you're just endlessly scrolling and putting things in your list.
Yeah.
Instead of actually watching anything, you're just like,
I'll see
not
that.
right now, but I'll get to it at some point.
But instead, I'm going to rewatch The Office 9 times as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like comfort food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't watch this right now, but maybe the right day at the right time when it's raining or not raining or whatever, then I'll watch it.
But while I'm waiting to go and watch it, I'll watch something I've watched 40 times before.
Exactly.
I'll watch Red Dragon again. That was at the top of the queue on Netflix. I was like, come on, man. Give me some help, man. Yeah. Speaking of crime, because McMahon is a criminal. Let's be real. I got sent, one of our listeners, Deborah, she sent me a news story that, it didn't show up on the computer, so I'm kind of doing this off memory. But there's a house on 14th Street that once every couple weeks, someone takes fishing weights and hucks them into the windows.
Really?
It's like a chronic, reoccurring crime that the police are investigating.
Like 14th Street, my side?
I don't know. 404, I think they said was the address.
Interesting.
Yeah, someone's just.
That's like right around the corner from me.
Yeah, which is funny because.
I should know these things.
So that had me. I was like, maybe I'll look at the blotter of the Tybee Police Department. Just to see. Literally, the first thing I opened up was the most Tybee news story you've ever heard. Officers responded to the area of neighborhood to a disorderly person. While speaking with our team, the caller stated that he had been working on the roof of a house when he was approached by a man asking for a cigarette. How appropriate. When he refused, the stranger became angry and reportedly threatened to, quote, whoop his ass before throwing a large object at him. Now, hey, can I have a cigarette, buddy? Nah, man. You want to get your ass whooped? Give me a goddamn cigarette. Vienna sausages, cigarettes. These are things people get stabbed over down here.
Apparently, Jesus.
You want to get your ass whooped?
You better give me one of them fucking cigarettes in there, cowboy. Wait, is it a menthol? All right, no, we're good.
Hey, you on that roof. Come here. You heard me. Throw me one of the Marlboro Reds. I know you got one.
Well, I mean, I've been to, say, Sandbar or whatever bar on Tybee, and people will want to buy me a drink, or a shot, and it's not a local person, it's somebody visiting, whatever, but we have a little moment, exchange of words in a good way. Like, we're just talking about whatever's on TV or just, man, you're a cool dude. Let me buy you a shot. And I'm not really a shot guy, or especially when the shot just appears in front of me and I really don't want to do a shot of Jameson or even tequila or whatever. But,
or anything.
I mean, I could choke it down, but I just kind of, I politely decline.
Yeah.
And people take offense to it sometimes. Yep. You don't want to drink with me? I was like, well, we've been drinking for 2 hours together. It's just I'm just saying no to this one thing. I appreciate it, but I don't really want it.
And do you want to waste the time to be like, listen, man, I don't want to drink liquor. I like beer now. I've found my groove.
Yeah.
If I throw liquor into it, it messes my rhythm up.
But occasionally, someone gets offended by that. It's like I'm declining for other reasons than your company. It's not like I don't want a free shot.
I'm not getting up after you bought me the shot and walking away from you.
Yeah, but people are like, you want to drink with me? And I'm like, we are drinking. We've been talking about something very cool for the last hour and a half, and now I'm saying no to this one thing, and then they take it very personally. Like, that's not what's happening here. I'm just saying no.
What story are you, what wrestling soap opera are you writing in your head now?
I guess, yeah. And I still do shots. I've just kind of tried to get liquor off the table as a daily.
Well, also here's something that maybe someone like them should think about. Maybe ask the guy. Number one, if he wants one.
Yeah.
Number two, what they would like if they did do a shot. You can't just take a brown shot of Jameson in front of people and be like, drink it.
Yeah, I mean, I bought.
You want to get your ass whooped?
I bought Jello shots for the bar, and if there's 4 or 5 left because somebody didn't want one,
whatever,
fine, we'll figure it out. But
that's kind of a median.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy.
And if nobody wants to, you're not like, you ain't taking my Jello shot. You want to get your ass whooped?
Yeah. I don't understand that mentality. I just don't.
Okay, well,
we're having a very nice time, and now you're ruining it.
You just ruined it. I didn't ruin it by refusing a shot of God knows what.
Yeah. And I really don't want to get into the backstory of why I'm saying that.
I don't want it to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you think? And this is just me being, armchair psychologist, that most of their friendships are predicated on some sort of exchange.
I mean, maybe. I mean, a lot of friendships are based off that, I
understand, but I don't feel like I'm closer to anyone if they accept a shot from me or if I can buy them something.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay, so along those same lines, we were chatting a little bit about this before the show. People with a wacky, goofy follow up to the thing that you just said. All right, so they say, hey, they offer you a shot. You say, hey, I don't want one.
Yeah.
Even though you've been sitting there drinking next to them. The follow-up, you would figure, be like, oh, shit, okay, never mind. Maybe someone else will want it. They say, what, you don't want to drink with me?
Yeah.
So, number one, that doesn't make any sense. I've been, like you said, I've been sitting here drinking with you.
Yeah.
We've been having a nice time.
Yeah.
The other night, I was like, hey, man, could you just please just do your job? Whatever. And the person goes, what, you don't love me?
Yeah.
I'm like, were we talking about love? What is this follow-up? It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. That's like saying roll tide when we're talking about I don't know.
No immediate application in this right now.
So you got these I asked how your night went last night, if you got off early, and you had told me that there's this one last ride that you're like, you know what? That's the last note of the night. I'm going to call it on that.
Yeah.
So they asked you, they said, hey, will you take us to Neptune's? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And you said it was closed.
Yeah.
And then they followed up with, so you're not going to take us?
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm in it to make money, obviously. But at the same time, it's pointless for me to just take you back to a place where I just literally came from,
And the doors were shut and the lights were off.
Yeah,
you want to tour the empty building?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, more or less, it's pretty much sandbar in the quarter, Those are pretty much the only 2 games, no matter what, how slow or busy, whatever. They're always up until 3 or 2:45, last call thing. But I try to give people a little intel and say, you're wasting your money. There's no unless you have a car you're trying to go back to.
Right.
That kind of thing. But they just didn't get it for some reason.
And you're the eyes and ears of bar business on the island most times because you're driving by them all the time.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it kind of depends on what they're looking for. If you're looking for something busy-wise, and it's hard to tell. I mean, on a Sunday, especially this time of year, nobody's really busy. Even
you know exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah. So,
they're looking for the opposite sexual organ, or sometimes the same one.
Well, whatever they're looking for, I try to let them know at least before we head that way. Either it's closed or it's not open tonight at all, or but usually they're insistent because they're trying to go back and get their car, maybe, or something like that. That's usually now I get it. That's why you need to go back down front, even though you're going to a place I know is closed, that kind of thing. But to take a slight sort of so you're not going to do it, you're not going to do your job, that's not even remotely what's happening here. It's closed, and you knew that when we drove by the sandbar because they even asked me what else is going on. Well, you guys are staying close to the quarter. You should just go to the quarter if you want another drink because you got another half an hour, 35 minutes, and they have
because they're guaranteed up until 2:45, and they have food which you probably need.
Yeah, and that kind of thing. So I thought I was giving them solid intel, giving them the right the right plan, that kind of thing, and. If I decide to shut it down, which I was going to after this ride, that they only have 2 blocks to walk. The little dusting of rain had passed by them and all that. They were going to be just fine, that kind of thing. But it was just, it wasn't a bad ride. It was just, it's hard.
You weren't playing jazz together.
Yeah,
you weren't gelling.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't they tipped fine, all that kind of stuff. But it was just one of these moments where what are you missing?
What are we getting at? I told you it was closed. Do you want me to take you to? Well, you're not going to take us.
Especially after I just dropped him off at the quarter because I said, this is, pretty much it, or the sandbar. And I told him that. And then the guy calls back like a minute later, like, we want to go to the Neptune's. I'm like, well, they're closed. You want to go to the sandbar? Well, no, we want to go to Neptune's. I'm like, well, they're closed.
I don't know how else to say this. They are closed.
Yeah.
They nada.
It was not a bad way to end the night. It was just like, this is the perfect time to end the night. I don't care what happens in the next 35 minutes. So I parked the car at like 2:20, and that's what it was.
Which is pretty late enough on a hot November night.
Well, no shit. Right?
What the hell?
But it was just kind of one of those things where as long as the phone keeps ringing, I'll keep going. But then there's other times where the phone's ringing, and it has nothing to do with making more money. It's more like, why is this person calling back? I just don't want to deal with this again. That kind of thing. Even after they know what's up, and 2:20 was fine. I slept just fine.
I know, like I said, I know what people are after at that time when they're going from bar to bar. Yeah. They'll show up to one, they'll be like, "There's no pissy here. There's no penis here."
It was two guys and a girl, and one of the guys and the girl and one of the guys worked together, and then the other buddy, and the one, I guess the guy, the wingman, Solo Lobo guy, wanted to go to the quarter because he wasn't done yet. The other two were kind of, well, we may go.
What do you think he was after?
I don't know. He said jalapeno poppers.
Come on, Kelly.
I don't know, man.
Come on, Kelly.
I think he wanted food, but it was just.
Oh, clueless Kelly. You know what the guy was after.
It kind of felt like that. Like, what am I doing wrong here? Because I'm doing everything by the book. Everything should be going just fine. I'm giving them all solid answers, solid intel on what's going on.
You're being a legit concierge.
Yeah, I'm trying to save you a few bucks.
You know, when you go out of town, especially because they were from out of town, I assume.
I guess, yeah.
When you go out of town, especially, you ask local people for the local lore.
Yeah.
Hey, where should we go? Well, how about this? You guys are staying really close to this bar that guarantees to stay open for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah.
How perfect is that? Well, you're not going to take us to the closed bar? You want to get your ass whooped?
I think the guy hung up on me, too, with a fine. Fine. Click.
So they're writing their own story in their head.
I guess.
And it's not, and a lot of times I don't think it's because they're drunk. They just don't ever think along the terms of like, yeah, I don't know.
They were drunk.
We're not talking about this. I'm talking about this. You're talking about that.
Yeah.
You're zigging. I'm zagging.
We were not on the same page. Even though we were reading the same book, we were not on the same page at all. Different chapters.
It was a choose your own adventure book.
I guess so.
You were on page 222. They were on page 340.
Yeah. Like I said, everything was more or less done. So I don't feel really bad about parking a few minutes early, and Ron knows that.
No, you shouldn't.
But in this moment, it was just like, that's enough for tonight.
Yeah.
I did okay. It was busy, then not busy for like an hour, then be busy for like a half an hour, then not busy for an hour. It was one of those kind of weird nights, that kind of thing. But it was frustrating. And then after the whole thing kind of passed, I was like, why am I so, bothered by this? It was like, what?
Because it's unexplainable stupidity.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you like, what's your, all right, armchair psychologist. You're sitting there thinking, what have I done?
Yeah.
What did I do?
And like I said, it wasn't
to
a bad
create
ride.
this
They paid,
confusion.
20 on 3 people, nice tip and all that sort of stuff. And I mean, the music on the radio was spot on because the girl was in the front seat and she was one of those volume crankers. And,
oh boy.
It's your ride. You do your thing. As long as I can hear the phone or at least feel it vibrate between my legs, because that's usually where I keep it.
Sure.
But it was one of those things. It was even pushing the system in the van, and the van system's not bad.
It's a new van, so yeah, it's going to have
good. But this girl, Lithium came on by Nirvana, and it just could not be loud enough. That kind of thing. But in the same vein, she was like, "You're the best cab driver ever because the song's on," even though it had nothing to do with that song being on.
Yeah, program the local radio stations.
There was all these sorts of positives in this weird ride. So it wasn't like a bad ride, but it just ended so awkwardly. It's hard to explain, I guess. I don't know. So maybe having a good table or where everything, like the food comes out on time and it's good, or the drinks are solid. They're not causing any problems, but there's just something a tick off.
Yeah.
That you just don't
get. It happens a lot.
Like, what don't you understand?
Yeah.
I've just told you what's going on, and you still don't get it.
And she's like, what, you don't like the music loud? Well, it's like, I like loud music, but not when I'm driving. I need to hear my phone.
Let me turn down the radio so you can tell me what you just said. Oh, you don't like loud music. Oh, that's what you said. Oh, I got you. Okay, yeah.
I couldn't hear you over the loud music.
Loud music. Yeah, I don't care that it's lithium. It has nothing to do with that. Yeah.
People write their own stories in their head, especially given your demeanor and my demeanor of like not paying attention to a lot, you know, or seemingly not. Oh, what are they thinking? They must hate me.
Yeah.
So I ran into someone the other night and I made them a shot. And they wanted it a certain way. I didn't know that. Okay. And they wanted something chilled or not. I didn't know that. Didn't care about this person, what they wanted. And I know this person. And they go, well, I don't want to get it from Paxton. I guess he hates me. Now, when I said writing your own story in your head, sometimes the narrative's right. So I just kind of turned and went,
Actually, you're right. I don't like you.
You're kind of right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a few breezy rides over the years where I just finally just copped to it. Like, you know, this isn't about money anymore. It's like, I just don't like you. I don't say hate. Hate's a very strong word and all that. But I just kind of let them know, you know, I don't really like your presence. You know?
And they think money fixes that. It's like, no, I don't give a shit how much money you give me. Right. I want you out of the car. I want you out of the bar. I don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
I don't care if you
I
give
want
me
this to be over as quickly as possible.
And you don't have to pay. Just get the fuck out.
Yeah. Just get out. That kind of thing. And every once in a while, but it could be somebody who has to like hit you every time they talk to you. Every time they say something, they got to give you a whack on the shoulder.
Right? Roll Tide.
Yeah, they got to whack you on the shoulder or whack you in the chest or whatever, that kind of thing. And, you know, or just like you realize you're only 2 feet away from me. You don't have to talk like we're yelling across a field.
Or like the radio's at 11.
Yeah, that kind of thing. It's just, so every once in a while, I let people know, like, look. This is just a transaction.
It's not me, it's you.
Yeah, it really is. It really is in this case. And it doesn't happen often, but I feel very satisfied when I do get to say that to them. And then they become a little downtrodden and like, you don't like me. I'm like, no, I don't like riding with you. I don't, you know, what are your, or as a person has nothing to do with this. I just don't like you in the car for the 8 minutes.
Us in this particular situation, in this little bubble.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not feasible.
Yeah. It'd be better off if you just didn't say anything.
Very unpleasant.
It's uncomfortable.
It's unpleasant.
Yeah.
It's stinky. It's silly.
Yeah.
It's goofy. It's
people suck. People suck sometimes.
People just suck.
Yeah.
You know what kind of sucked was how not busy we were for the Georgia-Florida game this past Saturday, because I didn't know the game was coming on at 3:30. So when I got to work, it was nearly halftime, which was kind of good because I didn't go through the stress of what was happening in the first half. You know, the 3 interceptions and all that shit.
Right.
But the positive of it was I was able to watch the game a little bit, you know, because we weren't that busy. But I get some reporting from the inside bar, or the bar tables at the inside. We've got a house divided. There's a Florida table and a Georgia table.
Right on.
And I'm a fan of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yes, you are.
I didn't attend the school. I lived in Athens for a year. Didn't attend the school. I attended a lot of concerts.
Yeah.
At the Georgia Theater. Went to a lot of games. So my fandom, it goes so far, but I'm not.
Your fanaticism has a line.
I'm not going to prolapse my prostate. You know.
Yeah.
With my fandom. So this table's yapping back and forth inside because, as such, the game was close. Lots of interception, you know, a lot of things happening. And there's a gentleman, I can't remember if he was a Georgia fan or a Florida fan, but this is being reported to me by Joe Marvin. And the guy is just, every time something happens, he's leaning over on the other team's table. So finally, and credit to Joe Marvin, best way to handle this situation. Number one, he walks over, he goes, hey, man, number one, you know, we're at halftime, and you're already this walloped and worked up.
Yeah.
They have nothing. They're not over there, you know. This isn't North versus South. This isn't the Civil War.
They're not reciprocating the way he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is not a back and forth. This is not a volley. This is not a rally. This is a family trying to watch a game.
Yeah.
And because they're wearing blue or red, whatever. So Joe goes, number one, act like you've been there before. Which the rest of the table was like, ooh, got him.
Right.
The table was on Joe's side.
Yeah.
He goes, number two, have some decorum. It's 7:30. You're in a restaurant.
Yeah.
At a table.
And Pooh's is still pretty family friendly up until like, what,
At
10
that
o'clock,
time, yeah.
that kind of thing. I get it. You know, So I was able to watch some of the game between some things I was doing at home when I got back Saturday, and I didn't work Saturday night for personal reasons. But I was able to watch some of the game in the background and all that. And I guess kind of what I miss about football is the kind of gamesmanship that kind of goes into it with players. And I like the idea when people are in bars and there's a little give and take, a little back and forth. As long as it's in jest and good fun, that kind of thing. Nothing to start.
As long as both parties agree to this.
Yeah, a little chippy back and forth kind of thing. And Georgia got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty because a kid scored, did the gator chomp.
He did the gator chomp. I loved it.
I have no problem with that.
I loved it.
They cut to Kirby on the sideline, giving this kid the business, because it cost him 15 yards and all that. I get that.
Yeah.
But we're talking about something where it's not like targeting.
Yeah.
Or, they're trying to fit. It's just like stirring the pot. I mean, I don't see a problem with doing that.
That's metagame right there.
Yeah.
That's getting in people's heads.
And that's something that's been around for a while.
Yeah.
So, they throw a flag on this sort of thing, and it bothered me just in the sense that what's the big damn deal?
Well, a while ago they made that dumb rule where if you do any sort of celebration besides throwing your fists
slashing the throat, whatever the case may be, but the gator chomp. So what? So if the Florida guys get on the ground and start barking like dogs, I mean, now are they going to get a flag? I mean, how would you even know if they're on all fours just trying to get it from a play, or are they barking like a dog? I mean, whatever. but now Kirby's giving this kid the business, because that's what he wants to do as a coach and all. That's how he coaches. But I'm watching this and I'm thinking, there's nothing wrong with running a little smack, throwing it in someone's face. So when you're in a bar and they have that back and forth, as long as everybody's on the same page.
As long as everyone is agreeing to the banter.
Yeah, because if not, then you're just like.
You're just a jerk off.
Yeah, that 2-yard clapper.
Yeah.
That guy that's got to just.
Or every play, it's like, God damn it, come on.
Yeah.
It's like that was first down on the 30. We're
doing just fine. Yeah.
Now I do. If someone starts acting like that, and no one else is, and it's in more of an adult situation.
Yeah.
I'll chirp back, even though I don't care about the fucking team or necessarily, But just to be like, hey, dude, you kind of fucking suck too. What years did you attend the school? Oh, you didn't. Okay.
Well, at least you can say you lived there. That's more than most people can say, even if they went to a game, that kind of thing. But I'm a Clemson guy, and I'm proud of it. But it's all by association, by family. And so I'm never going to be, even
spitting in a child's face.
Yeah, or just.
Cats.
Whatever. I'm not saying because you did go to the school you have carte blanche to just do whatever the fuck you want.
No.
In someone's face. But that being said, it's like I didn't go to Clemson, but I had a lot of family that did. So I care about what happens to them and all that. But they lost the other night, and honestly, I didn't lose any sleep over it. I mean, it probably hurts our chances down the road playoff. Whatever. It's not remotely.
It's just very small dick energy to have to outwardly. It's like putting too many. Political stickers on your car. Right. Or just anything you wear that much outwardly that would cause you to act like that in public, like a jerk off, Yeah. Especially in the setting. Yeah. But, as if everyone's agreeing to it, it's fine, have a little fun, it's a metagame. Yeah. Do the crawl on all fours, do the gator, whatever. If you score, celebrate.
Yeah. If you want to do the unsportsmanlike stuff, I get the fights and things that can happen and things kind of boil over and whatever. And I get that part of it. But as far as like the little subtleties of celebrating a touchdown, which I think, frankly, is probably one of the best things about football, whether at the pro level or the college level, is the little showmanship, whether it's some choreographed thing where they drop the football and it's like a grenade and everybody falls down or whatever the case may be. Yeah. I mean, fine. Don't use the football as like a gun where you're shooting people and they all die.
Don't poop it out like a baby.
But other things, what? I mean, come on. It's not that big a damn deal.
So when Kirby's over there chewing the kid out, I'm imagining him going, I'm pretending like I'm yelling at you right now, but I'm really proud that you scored that touchdown.
No, you could see him. He was giving him the business. Because the game wasn't in hand yet. By any means. So,
I got to make it look like I'm yelling at you, so I'm going to be pointing at your head, but I love you.
Yeah.
You did well.
He was legit giving him the business. I get the dude's a passionate coach and whatever, and maybe after the game, it might have had a little soft hand on the shoulder, like, all right, I gave you the business out there. I'm proud of you for scoring a touchdown.
But we pulled it out. Well,
all that. It's maybe in the future.
I don't think Kirby's a psychopath. Nick Saban definitely is, but they're on the same level, Like, I saw this thing about Saban. They were up 40 there's 38 seconds left. They had the ball and they got like a false start or something like that. And he nearly threw the kid on the ground for it.
Yeah.
So I get it where it's like you got to be coach all the time.
Yeah.
The rules are your rules or your rules, whatever. And yeah. Well,
I mean, and Saban said something along the lines when you're talking about like these guys aren't interchangeable. They have to be, as good as they are, maybe naturally or coached or whatever and all that. It's not like we just crap. I think he used the S word when he said this. Yeah. We don't just shit these guys out. They have to be coached a certain way. That even if they're the second or third stringer, because when your moment comes, blah blah blah.
Yeah, be ready.
So he was telling the press this, in this kind of scenario where it's like you guys just think if one guy goes down or whatever, we just crap another great player out.
Yeah, no.
That kind of thing. So that's why when we're up 45-0 and this guy makes a mistake, that's why I'm still doing what I'm doing, even though there's only 15 seconds left in the game, because that's what coaching is and that kind of thing. Maybe it might be a little harsh to people on the outside, whatever, and all that, but that's why the intensity level never drops.
That's why 5 minutes after winning the championship, they're like, all right, so
I'm back on the plane trying to find the next guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that all of these people are psychopaths, but most psychopaths are.
Oh, shit. It's the Karen. It's the Karen of the week. It's the Karen of the week.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, boy.
Karen of the week. Well, these are sort of by proxy.
All right.
The first one is really great because it wasn't me, but I had a coworker, and a person came in who had not been to our place in 6 or so years.
Okay.
So they come in, they order some stuff, and they have taken offense to the change in price, which up until a year and a half, 2 years ago, if they'd have showed back up, it would have still been the same price.
Yeah.
So we're talking probably a baker's dozen years at Huckapoo's where everything was the same price.
Yeah.
Early on, we went from $4 to $5 for a slice. Now we're at $6 for a slice.
Yeah.
But most of the drink prices, they stayed the same for far too long.
Right.
They were far too cheap for far too long. So this person, it's Karen, Darren, I don't know which one. They said, wait a minute, I used to be able to get these for $4. Server says, well, they're $6 now.
Yeah.
He goes, so the server goes, well, here's what I'll do. Just this once, since you were such a good customer, this is beautiful. Since you were such a good customer, and obviously you know this place, you've been here before, 7, 8 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to make you a picture of that, and we just going to pretend like it's Miller Lite.
Okay.
And I'll charge you for what Miller Lite costs. Person says, wow, man, hell yeah. So
Thanks, brother.
So they go get him a picture of Miller Lite, which is not what they were drinking. Give it to them. We're going to pretend this is Miller Lite. And guess who didn't notice that it wasn't kind of a very different beer?
Yeah.
They go, oh, man, hell yeah, thank you. We're going to pretend.
I bet that happens more often than people think. I really do.
Here's the thing. People ask for like a Bud Light, anything draft.
Yeah.
Bud Light, Miller Lite, or Ultra.
Yeah.
If it's busy at the inside bar, I go to the closest one. No one's going to be able to tell if I don't tell you that it's an Ultra or a Bud Light when it's on draft.
Domestic light and cold, there's not a lot of variation on the palate, I don't think.
They're like, oh, these aren't Bavarian hops. No,
Yeah.
no one's noticing that shit.
Right.
But I'll tell you the specific beers. This was Pacifico versus Miller Lite. And this person, when they told me that, I was like, I love you so much for doing that. Here's what I'm going to do since you're such a good customer. I'm going to pour you up and say we're going to pretend it's Miller Lite.
Yeah. I think I fucking know. I mean, dude, look, it's like vodka. It's don't tell me that Grey Goose is so much different from Mr. fucking Boston. I mean, unless you're drinking it straight, maybe there might be a difference. But if you're throwing that baby in a screwdriver or whatever, you've really got to, unless it's like the only vodka you've ever drank in your life and you've had it a certain way. Like, I knew when I wasn't drinking Captain Morgan. If it was Admiral Nelson or something like that, I knew that kind of thing.
Yeah.
even like kind of Coke versus Pepsi. But when it comes down to like domestic light beer, especially out draft, you could tell me it's Coors Light and it could be Bud Light.
Whatever.
And I wouldn't be like, no. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm drinking here, and this is not that.
Yeah.
So I love that. Fuck
and
'em.
then the other, and this happens all the time. So where I work at my outside bar, because we have a lot of tchotchkes around, we just happen to have been gifted or repurposed or upcycled or found a payphone, an old payphone from somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So that is our incoming to-go line for to-go food.
I don't know how you hear that thing.
You got to be deaf to hear it.
Apparently.
And, all right, the phone is sitting there in a pretty opportune spot for people to just grab it, whatever.
Yeah.
I get that. First, so many people are amazed that it works, which I'm like, yeah. But then when you really think about it, it's so analog and nuts and bolts, wood and steel, that, of course, it works. The credit cards machines don't work half the time because if the internet gets a blip in it, this thing, it don't need no internet.
Yeah.
It just needs gasoline and some WD-40. The thing works. It's fucking payphone.
Gas-powered phone.
Propane, I'm sorry. So, number one, people are amazed. Now, it is behind the bar. And 20 times a fucking night, it'll ring, and I'll have my back turned, and all of a sudden it's not ringing anymore. I turn around, and the person sitting there has answered the goddamn thing. They'll hang it up and go, those people wanted a pizza. What the hell were they talking about? All right, let's put this together. You're at a pizza place. The phone rings and so.
I mean, I've never been asked to answer it, and I've never done it before and all that. But I would think that if I did answer a phone at a bar, I would just kind of play along as an employee to some degree.
If you have
not like lying to them, but like, okay,
if you have the gumption to answer a business phone,
yeah,
even if you don't think it's a business, whatever.
Yeah, but if it was ringing like somebody answering the breezy phone, even though it's really not kind of a scenario that would happen because it's always kind of in my lap, that sort of thing. But if they were answering in sort of a helpful way, and it's happened a few times where the passenger can see who's calling, and they know the person that's calling, and they're like, "Can I answer this? Please let me answer." And I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it. For shits and giggles, this person.
You're cool, they're cool.
Yeah,
this is fine."
and then you can poke at them and have some fun with them and all that. And I understand that dynamic, but there's other times where I couldn't imagine answering that phone without wanting to either it would help you in a way, but it would also kind of lend a little entertainment, kind of a little different something.
Sure.
Oh, I'm poking at you, dude. And here's the bartender. Here's the phone.
Right.
And all that. Hey, Paxton, this guy wants a pizza.
Never that.
Yeah.
Never that. Never, ever, ever that. It's that guy wanted a pizza. Hey, what's that phone for? Listen, for the third time, it's our to-go, which I can't be too mad at people because the anomaly of having a payphone there.
Yeah.
Even if you know what it is or not, which, brother, we're old.
Yeah.
Because 70% of people have no idea what it is. And these are 25-year-olds.
Yeah.
But, and then some people are like, oh my God, I have intrusive thoughts, I want to answer it. I'm like, what is compelling you to reach across a bar?
I wouldn't do it unless it was a bar that I'd been to regularly, like Huckapoo's.
Sure.
And it was me. So it would be fun to kind of have a little poke around for a minute with them.
You're talking to Kelly. What can I get on your pie, baby?
And I actually might even take the order if I had a pen close by.
Right, yeah.
That kind of thing. And then I'd hand it over to you for the business part of it, that kind of thing. But no,
that guy wanted a pizza. Isn't that crazy? They was asking if this was Puckapoo's and it was a pizza or something. I just hung up. What do you think this phone is used for?
Yeah.
I'm not giving you quarters to call out on it.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
Good. So then finally, you know what? Fuck the last Karen.
All right, fuck her.
It was just, don't answer the phone of someone you don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, there's been one time where this girl goes, oh my God, the phone's ringing. Hello? Oh. And she asked me, do you have a pen? Oh, yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Take the order. Let me see if I can understand it.
Yeah.
Other than that, leave the phones alone. Don't spit in children's faces just because you're on an opposite team.
Yeah.
Kelly, I recommend the Penguin. for anyone out there with HBO Max, and the Menendez brothers not documentary. Which there's also a documentary of the Menendez brothers.
3,000 of them.
Were you pretty conscious when that was happening?
Yeah, but it was just a long time ago now.
89, I think, when they killed him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but back then it was constant news because I mean, cable was a thing, obviously, and all that, but the internet wasn't a thing.
Until OJ took over.
Yeah, and then,
the Menendez brothers were just ubiquitous.
Yeah, the Lacey Peterson things, all that sort of stuff.
Tanya Harding.
Oh yeah, dude.
Amy Fisher.
Oh yeah.
Lorena Bobbitt.
Oh yeah.
Those 5 stories, whatever, were the early 90s to mid 90s. We stopped homeroom class at Benedictine Military Catholic School to watch the OJ verdict.
No shit.
I have no idea why.
That's a cultural touchstone.
But
it wasn't like a assassination.
Right.
But I mean, I was working for a small printing company, and the verdict came out, and I think we probably talked about this on some episodes a while back, and there was black people that worked there and white people that worked there and all that. And when the verdict came out, there was definitely a gasp from the white people and cheering from the black people and all that. And I'm not saying right or wrong or anything that has to do with race or anything like that, but there was, I mean, it was appointment viewing. We all stopped what we were doing to watch it in the break room.
All I remember from the homeroom class at Benedictine Military High School where we watched the verdict, I think it was literally the cultural touchstone. And even in a super white school like that, it was just like, oh shit. It was just such a moment that had been built up for so long. And I think when the verdict came back, it was kind of, well, most verdicts on long murder trials and shit like that, like the jury comes back. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. You got to fire it up then. So it was like 9 a.m. Yeah. On a Tuesday.
And the people I was working with, who were on one side of the fence or the other side of the fence, it wasn't like when it was over, there was some animosity between us and our coworkers. It wasn't like that. I think half, most of them were like in the same line, like, damn, we thought he was guilty. We were kind of like cheering because we were surprised in a way. It wasn't like, justice.
I found it was mostly surprise in the room.
Right.
Where it was like no one cared one way or the other, I don't think. Yeah. But it was like, holy shit.
I mean, any rational person knew he was guilty.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I did it, this is how I would have done it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those moments, like 9/11 or anything else, and you hate even equate it with 9/11 being such a bigger disaster, in our society and culture and all that. But it was definitely one of those moments you remember where you were. Yeah. At least at that time, for my age, I knew exactly where I was when that happened, and 9/11 and all that shit.
Yeah, I was at my buddy James's house. I woke up, and I never woke up at 9 a.m. But I woke up and I just saw this, what looked like a campfire on TV. And it was the first, I watched the second plane go in.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
And then just 9/11. And then later on that day, for some fucking reason, I was at Chili's, downtown Savannah by the mall. And I heard and so, every TV station is on, like, reporting news, whatever. Yeah. And I just remember, this is literally the only other thing that sticks out. There was a tragedy, obviously. Yeah. I saw a plane go into a building live. Yeah. But I was at the Chili's, and one of the waitresses walked by, and she looked up at the TV. She goes, well, people better start donating some blood.
That's something my mom would say.
I was like, okay.
Oh, bless her heart. Community first.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess we better go donate some blood.
Get that blood drive going.
Anyways, would you like the pizza flingers or the chili shooters?
Some more bottomless nachos.
Oh, the comedy of 9/11. We appreciate you. You can follow it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. We're on Instagram. We got clips and stuff. We love you. Kelly, I love you.
I love you too.
And we'll see you next week.